How I lowered my cholesterol levels with these home remedies. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Do you know what is cholesterol and why bad cholesterol is bad for your body? This video is going to be super helpful, especially for those who are dealing with the problem of cholesterol or want to help their parents, siblings, grandparents, or friends lower their cholesterol levels back to normal. In this video, I'll share my tested home remedies to lower bad cholesterol levels by making simple changes in your daily routine. I know you might be wondering if my cholesterol has increased and if I'm facing some health issues, right? But no, I'm perfectly fine. Actually, I created this video because recently my mother was diagnosed with high cholesterol levels. She had gained some unweighted pounds, but what compelled me to take her to the doctor was that she used to feel lethargic all the time. My mom is an active person. She manages my things at once, but I noticed that she was facing the problem of shortness of breath even when she didn't do anything strenuous. We went to the doctor and he ran some tests. And the reason behind her constant fatigue and breathing issues was high cholesterol. Her cholesterol levels were 243 mg per deciliter and the LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, was 176 mg per deciliter. Now this wasn't a good news. The doctor explained that high cholesterol levels can lead to heart issues, stroke, and severe breathing issues. This was quite scary, but I was glad that we consulted the doctor at the right time. If I hadn't taken my mother to the doctor, her high cholesterol problem probably wouldn't have been diagnosed to date. Anyways, the doctor asked me about my mother's diet and exercise schedule. So for the exercise routine, my mother didn't really have one. And for diet, she discussed that she's a foodie and loves to try out different things, especially the ones with the red meat. She also discussed with the doctor that she enjoys cheese, dairy products, and desserts. Now, it became pretty clear why the cholesterol levels were high. My mom had to cut down the red meat, white poultry, and fast food to bring her levels back to normal. However, there was one major problem. My mother loves meat. She won't eliminate them from her diet overnight. But I was up for this challenge. The inner doctor inside me woke up and swore to bring her levels back to normal range. So I researched a lot about cholesterol, its causes, effects, and tips to lower it. And while I was doing it, it struck me, hey, why don't I document all this information and share it with my YouTube family? I collected all the information from authentic sources so that you don't have to hunt and gather information from different sources. I have tried my best to cover all the important and helpful details in the video. So let's get started. But before that, please take a quick minute and subscribe to my YouTube channel. The first thing I had to do was take care of her diet. I wanted to include more grains and veggies in her daily portion. So I started to look for diet plans for cholesterol patients on Google. And as I expected, those diet plans were strict with no room for meat. I knew that it would be hard for my mother to make such a huge change in her diet. And even if she stuck to the diet plan, she would give it up after a few days and return to her previous diet. And I didn't want that. I wanted a plan that she could not only follow but enjoy. My plan was to make a lifestyle change and not just a short-term crash diet. So I decided to create her diet plan myself. I wanted to include fruits, fiber, grains, vegetables, and even meat. And I didn't do what I feel was right. Instead, I did proper research about cholesterol, ingredients that increase it, and the ingredients which were helpful to lower it. And after my extensive research, I came up with a nice and delish meal ideas. Causes of cholesterol. Many people have a misconception that cholesterol is not good for your body, when actually cholesterol is important for the normal functioning of your body. It's a fat-like and waxy substance produced by our liver naturally. And this substance helps in creating vitamin D, a few hormones, and cell membranes. Now there are two types of cholesterol. HDL, which is good cholesterol, and LDL, which is a bad cholesterol. Cholesterol attaches itself to the protein and then moves in our blood. Suppose there's too much cholesterol in the blood. In that case, the good cholesterol returns it back to the liver to eliminate it from the body. whereas the bad cholesterol deposits itself on the walls of arteries. This makes the arteries narrow and allows less space for blood to move. So my mission was to cut down on bad cholesterol. And the top cause of bad cholesterol was saturated and trans fat, which are found in pre-packaged and fast food. To reduce the bad cholesterol, I had to make my mother switch from saturated and trans fats to monosaturated and polyunsaturated fats. Now, this might feel kind of funny to eat fats to reduce cholesterol, but see, the thing is, all the fat is not bad. In fact, an adult needs to take 20% to 30% of fats. It's needed to protect our skin, hair, and absorb the vitamins and minerals from our food. So according to my research, a person needs to take 15% of monounsaturated fats, 5 to 10% of polyunsaturated fats, and less than 10% of saturated fats. I started to look for food items with good fats to include in my mom's diet. Breakfast. Firstly, I made changes to my mom's breakfast. She couldn't start her day without her milk coffee with 2 tablespoons of sugar. The idea of replacing her sugar with artificial sweeteners crossed my mind. So again, I googled to look for the best sweeteners. However, I found out that these artificial sweeteners were not really good for health, and their overuse can weaken the bones. The best solution was to cut down the sugar from the morning coffee. I told my mom to reduce her sugar intake by just half tablespoon. Instead of adding 2 tablespoons, she agreed to use 1.5 tablespoon. My plan was to bring her down to just 1.5 tablespoon, but slowly and gradually. I didn't want to make major changes right away. The second thing I did was replace dairy milk with almond milk in her coffee. I bought unsweetened almond milk from the store and I liked its taste. It was creamy and not bad at all. The best part was that it contained monounsaturated fats, plus it contains around 50 calories a cup. I also started using almond milk instead of cow milk. It tastes great. You won't feel a major difference in taste, but definitely on weight. The problem of coffee was solved. The next thing was to fix a healthy breakfast. I wanted mom to take fresh fruits in the morning. So I made a fruit salad and added some honey and desiccated coconut over it. I'm not gonna lie, it was hard to eat fruits when my mother enjoyed munching on frozen nuggets, pancakes, or French toast. Her previous breakfast choices were loaded with saturated fats. The frozen chicken nuggets, burger patties, tender pops, tempura, etc. contain more or less around 20% of saturated fats, whereas the daily intake for saturated fat should be 10% or lesser. Imagine using ketchup, mayo, and other dips along with those frozen foods. Just take a second and think how much fat we are storing up. Another breakfast idea that I incorporated into my and my mother's diet was avocados toast. It was really a treat to eat, and to be honest, I followed a YouTube recipe to make it. Lunch and dinner. The next thing was fixing lunch and dinner, so I had to look for meat substitutes that didn't taste bland. The first option was fish, especially salmon and tuna. So instead of going for beef steak or chicken burgers, we would make fish steak and burgers. I marinated it with natural spices, vinegar, and lemon juice. I didn't want to add ready-made sauces because they contain high sodium, sugar, and other preservatives. And along with it, I always prepare a huge bowl of salad. I added spinach, tomatoes, cucumber, boiled corns, sometimes beans, onions, a small chili, and sprinkled kosher salt and pepper. Another thing that I included in my mother's diet was rabbit meat. Not only that it tastes good, but it's also nutrient dense as compared to chicken. It contains less sodium and more vitamin E and vitamin B12. Plus, rabbit meat has double protein than chicken or beef and lesser fats. It has just 1.05 grams of saturated fats. It's a great replacement for chicken and beef. At times, it really felt tough to prepare meals from scratch, look for recipes, and find out the fat content. Some days, I simply wanted to order a pizza and call it a night. But I realized that if I did it once, my mom and I would eventually go back to our old eating habits, and I didn't want that because making these changes felt good. I felt more active, and I noticed that I was making room in my jeans and tops that used to be snug. And as for my mom, she felt a bit different too. she felt less exhausted, and her shortness of breath was also resolved. But along with these dietary changes, we made some lifestyle changes as well, adding 10,000 steps every day to our sedentary lifestyle, drinking 1 to 2 cups of green tea, and adding healthy foods to our diet plan helped a lot. Also, my mother doubled her water intake. Her weight went down from 176 pounds to 167 pounds. So yes, our little changes really did wonders to her health. And her cholesterol levels also went down a little. I mean, it's not in normal range yet, but I'm positive that if she continues with the same diet and walking routine, she'll soon have her cholesterol levels back to normal. I hope this video was helpful for you and you got some interesting ideas to make smart food choices. Staying fit and healthy isn't something that you can achieve overnight. It requires consistency and should be your lifestyle and not a temporary plan. If you have any questions about this video, I'd be more than happy to help you. I'll see you next time with another video. Till then, goodbye and be mindful of what you're feeding your body.